Welcome to the QuestCast, where the quest gets cast and the cast is on a quest. So, we're starting another campaign. And there will be some new voices tonight. Well, I say new voices. One of them has been on before, but not on a campaign. One of them has been on creating a villain. That one's specifically YouTube, isn't it? So, why don't we get introduced? Everybody knows Zach, probably.
Hello.
Dad.
I'm Dad.
Yup. Let's just call him Dad. Sure. Let's completely just rip off the McElroys. Cool. And Alex.
Hello.
And what we're gonna do this time is mostly, I'm gonna talk about kind of what the world's called, kind of a little bit about the world, or what I have of it so far. Let me go grab something.
One eternity later.
Holding it upside down. I have a map of the world. I don't have names for any of the continents yet. I don't have names for much yet. But I'm working on it.
I think it's still upside down.
Nope, it's right.
Okay, the names are just written upside down for us then.
Oh, that's just for me to know what areas of the world are like tropical, deserts, tundra, stuff like that. We're starting in a very temperate area that has forests and some mountains and things like that. And honestly, it's probably the closest to one of the main superstitions of the world. So this is Crystal Prime. I'm just going to be simple and call it Crystal Prime. Where you guys are starting has a little home shape right about here on this pretty central continent. That's Windgate. Very, very small port city. And it's probably one of the closest places that any sailor will ever go to Hell's Gate, an island in the southwest, not southeast. West is that way.
There you go.
Southwest. Most sailors, pirates, unless they're incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, they don't go within 100 miles of the place.
One of those is probably going to be me.
Because it is believed that there is a portal to the Nine Hells open on that island. Because there's all kinds of like aberrations and monstrosities and things come off of that island every once in a while. People just believe there's a portal to the Nine Hells. And that's pretty much all I've got fleshed out. We'll talk a little bit about the Dead Sea here in a second. I'll go put this up. So I said something about the Dead Sea. We have two players that wanted their characters, well, not necessarily wanted. I suggested it and they liked the idea. That their characters are on the Dead Sea as crew.
That'd be me.
The Dead Sea being one of the most feared on the ocean side of things pirate ships. Now, you two that are on the Dead Sea, and most of the world anyway that knows what the Dead Sea is, knows that they most of the time don't really attack ships that haven't already stolen something. So they're pirates, but they pirate pirates. Does that make sense?
They thieve the thieves.
Yes, they thieve the thieves.
So Robin Hood.
Kind of.
For themselves.
We do it for reward, bro.
Yeah, they do it for a selfish reward, and most of the time it works. And Caduceus Lance, the captain of the Dead Sea, Caduceus Lance, the captain of the Dead Sea, is a vampire, but he feeds on like the people that they overtake in naval combat. Not every person, but you get what I'm saying. However, when it comes to being on land, he has a very, very particular. I don't want to say a set of rules, but he has a one rule mostly, and it's be respectful while on land. Because he doesn't want people scared of him, so they get ran off from every town. Does that make sense? He wants the ship to be welcome because they know that they won't attack people on land, right? Yeah, sometimes maybe a crew member or two gets in a fight, whatever. That's different than we're gonna go in and pillage this village, you know? So that's pretty much all I have on Crystal Prime at the moment, I think. Does that sound about right? I've told you guys a little bit about it.
Sounds good to me.
That's about as much as we've known anyway.
Yeah. So I want to start with a little scene for everybody. We've already recorded Dad's. It'll be put in post. Who wants to start?
Figured we'd start with the crew of the Dead
Thane?
Sea.
Or Thalius? Is that how you pronounce it? Thalius? Thalius?
That'll work.
Thalius?
That'll work.
Alright, let's start with Thalius. So let's talk a little bit about your character. You chose a bard, right?
Yes.
I don't know your subclass yet. I don't know why I don't. I know theirs. Phantom Rogue and Commander Fighter. But what is your sort of...
I don't remember what school mine was. School of Swords?
School of Swords?
College of Swords. Not school.
Yeah.
Sorry. Close enough.
College of Swords. Okay. So what does your character look like? What do you want Thalius to look like? I know he's what, a sea elf?
He is a sea elf.
He's a sea elf.
Kind of average height. About 6 foot tall-ish. Green eyes, black hair, usually slicked back, kept in a ponytail. Pale blue skin, like a typical sea elf.
All right. And what is Thalius wearing? And I know you may have armor or something, but like describe it a little bit more in depth than just Dad said chainmail. Well, yeah, you have chainmail, but what else? Like, what does it look like? What do you?
I would kind of picture it more like flamboyant, with him being a bard and a performer. So it's typical leather armor, but I would think it's more. Some parts are more colorful than others, so the legs may be just a standard brown leather, but then the top has reds and yellows mixed in.
All right. Now give me. I know we talked a little bit about it, but I want to get. I don't want you to just tell me your backstory. I want it to kind of come out in the story of the whole game. But I maybe give me a little bit. Give the people listening a little bit of something. You know? Does that make sense?
So
Maybe-
not all of my backstory that I have written down.
Yeah.
Okay. Thalius comes from a comfortable background. So his father is a well-known performer. He could perform for kings and royalty, but Thalius would struggle with just finding a job for himself and making his own way because people expect him to do what his father does, and he is not that.
Okay. So, for your little scene, we're gonna kind of do the day you met Caduceus.
Okay.
So I've got a little paragraph here. Last week, you had heard about a ship by the name of the Dead Sea that would be docking at a nearby dock village. Upon hearing the name, you remember the reputation that the ship has. Thinking it would benefit your search for your fiance's killer, you have decided to go ask to be a crew member. As you walk through this small town, you look up towards the ocean and see a galleon made of black wood. The sails slightly tattered, but usable. And on the deck, you see a tall, pale elf dressed in a dark captain's jacket with a very ornate tricorn hat. In the fold of the hat is a quite large black feather sticking straight up. Around his neck is an amulet in the shape of a crescent moon inside the outer rim of the points of a sun. He stands at the top of the ramp as if waiting for someone.
I walk up to the bottom of the deck and be like
Like the bottom of the ramp?
the bottom of the ramp, and be like, "Hello, are you the captain?"
Yes, I am.
Are you waiting for someone?
Well, I had a feeling there might be someone here wanting to join the crew. Are you wanting to join?
It's a little suspicious that you know that I want to join. But yes, I would.
mean, sometimes I just get a feeling. I'm sure you know of my reputation.
I have heard.
You don't mind working for someone that is like me, do you?
I think you might find some of my skills rather useful. And I pull out a couple daggers and start juggling them.
If nothing else, entertaining.
I'm pretty good in a fight too.
Well, let's see what Vatrarch has to say about that. Eventually. I mean, if you want to join, you can join. You just will be traveling a lot, many months at sea sometimes.
I have nothing to keep me on land.
I think he kind of gestures for you to come aboard, like with a cock of his head and kind of like a follow me.
Can I make an insight check to make sure he's not going to like stab me in the back as soon as I walk on board?
Yeah. I'm gonna say you've kind of heard stuff too, so. Ooh.
That's a 7.
A 7. No, I think I'll give it to you. You've heard about him not wanting to have a bad reputation with people on land, so he's being genuine. He says, "Come on,
Okay.
follow me."
I follow. Slightly hesitant, just trying to stick back a little bit so he's not directly behind me.
I think he turns and says, I'm not going to hurt you, if that's what you're worried about. I know it's intimidating my situation.
Can never be too careful with people these days.
Good point. Good point. Let's go speak privately in my office.
Okay.
And he leads you kind of... once you get on the ship, to your left is the back of the ship. I don't know the actual terms for back, front, whatever. Back of the ship that has like a rise, and there's a staircase going up either side. The front of the ship has kind of the same thing, except it's pointed at the end instead of kind of flat at the back. And as you look towards it, he walks through the straight middle, in between the staircases. So...
I follow.
All right. He walks through and he sits behind his desk and he says, "Have a seat. Have a seat."
I do as he says.
So, why exactly are you wanting to travel? Why are you wanting to get away from the land?
I have someone I'm looking for, and I think traveling with you would be a good way to find said person.
He kind of looks away for a moment and then looks back at you and says, finding someone. Is this someone you're wanting to find. Is this a friend?
No. It's more of a revenge search.
You see a smile grow on his face, and he says, "Ah, revenge." And that's kind of where we're gonna leave this little scene. All right, Dad. So what we're gonna do first here is we're gonna talk about your character a little bit. I want you to describe what you think your character looks like.
I don't know.
You might have to talk a little bit louder.
I don't know. I'm gonna assume he's big and hairy and
Big and hairy.
yeah,
What's your race again?
bugbear, man.
Oh yeah, big hairy bugbear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's he wearing?
Chainmail.
What?
Chainmail.
Chainmail. Okay, but what does it look like? I mean, yeah, I get chainmail, but what do you want it to look like?
No idea. I'm not good at these.
Okay, well.
I'm just saying,
Okay, so you picked a name, kind of.
Yeah. Vetrarch.
Vatrarch.
Vetrarch.
Vatrarch. Is that how you want it said? Vatrarch.
I don't know.
I was thinking Vatrarch
Vatrarch.
or Vatrarch. Vatrarch is probably
Vatrarch.
the way it comes off the tongue the best.
Vatrarch.
Vatrarch. Okay. Now, you're playing a fighter, right?
Yep.
But one of the things that we're doing with your fighter is you're playing a subclass that I made for fighter
Yeah.
called Commander.
Yep.
Why don't you? Because we're starting at 3rd level. You only get one of your features from your subclass. Why don't you read it slowly so people who want to follow along?
The command.
Yeah, the command bonus action.
Okay. You can command an ally that you can see within 60 feet as a bonus action. A commanded creature can use the entire action immediately. Magic users may cast a spell, but it must be a level 2 or lower, or allow an activated spell effect happen again.
So kind of like when you have a concentration spell, and then if you have to use like an action or something to make that happen,
Yeah.
you can do that again or something like that.
At a level 10, the level of the spell that can be cast raises to a level 4, and at a level 18, any spell can be cast. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus until you take a short rest.
So basically, in between every short rest, you can use that command action or command bonus action. I think twice right now. I think proficiency bonus is +2 at level 3. So
My proficiency bonus is 2.
it's 2. Okay. So right now you can use that twice before you have to take a short rest. So you have to think about when you want to use it.
Okay.
Okay? Because sometimes
I'll wait till we're in a really hairy situation.
yeah, a really hairy situation. Which is all of them according to your description of your character. So we talked a little bit about how in this world there's this ship called the Dead Sea.
Right.
That's ran by a certain Caduceus Lance.
Vampire.
He's a vampire, yes. So your character is kind of currently the lead of the battle party.
I'm the badass of the ship.
Sure. but
I'm the leader of the battle party.
yes, you're the lead person when they're hopping ships. Now, what I've also told you that the Dead Sea doesn't. They're a pirate ship, but they mostly.
We thieve the thieves.
Yes. Now it's not. It's uncommon. It's not all the time, but if there's none that you come across, sometimes they'll go, okay, we got to be a little bit bad now, because you still got to make a living, and that's how people see pirating in this world, right? So I think that's what we're gonna. Your little backstory. So we're gonna do a little scene with your character. I don't have every character on the Dead Sea fleshed out yet. I probably should. I have a notebook somewhere with a bunch of characters that will be on the Dead Sea but are not currently. So your little flashback. Maybe none of the people that are there in the future when you're going to be on there are there now. You've been on the Dead Sea for years now. This particular day, you prove yourself to Caduceus. It's your first naval battle. The Dead Sea has been chasing this other ship for about 2 hours now, trying to get close enough to have you board with the other hoppers. It's getting close. Caduceus says, I hope you're ready, because they seem to be getting ready.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
You ready to fight?
Yes,
'Cause
I'm
it's-
ready to fight.
I mean, they're acting like cowards now, but we all know nobody is a coward on these seas.
That includes me. I'm ready to go.
All right, time's coming soon. Get set. And so what happens is over the course of the next couple minutes, you're gonna go in top deck or maybe even up on to higher on the mast to where you can maybe swing over or jump over. What do you want to do? How do you want to get to this other ship? Remember, this is a backstory thing, so you can call back to this later and go, hey, this is kind of like what I did then. How do you want to get from the Dead Sea to this other ship?
Does the Dead Sea have harpoons on
No, it's not Sea of Thieves.
it? I didn't know if there's a harpoon. I could harpoon the ship and then swing across with
So what's happening right now is you're kind of, if the ship is here, you're kind of coming up to one side of it from behind, and they're getting ready to be parallel with the other ship.
Okay.
So how are you wanting to get from Dead Sea to their ship?
Okay. So I go up onto the back on the higher part of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that theirs has kind of the same
Mm-hmm.
level. Okay.
You see several other people getting ready to follow your command because Caduceus has said he's in charge for today for this fight. He's going to prove himself. If he gets anybody killed, it's on him.
Okay.
So whatever you're telling people to do, they're doing. However you're going to go about it, everyone else is too. But you see the other side, the other ship, getting ready as well. They have people standing ready for people to hop over.
Okay. So I get a couple of guys up on the top level
Mhm.
in the back. As we come up on it, we jump over onto the top side of theirs
Mm-hmm.
and trying to gain control of, the wheel, the
Okay.
all right.
So you're jumping from your wheelhouse
Right.
area
But-
to their wheelhouse area.
Right. But I also have instructed some of the others up toward the front of the ship to board in the front. That
To
way,
go towards the front.
That way we're not jumping in the middle
Mm-hmm.
We're coming up from the back.
Mhm.
I get them distracted.
So
When I
kind of like
come
a
over-
pinch,
yeah.
pincer attack.
Right. I come in from the top, from the back. They say, "Oh," they start coming up here. We're coming up from here.
Mm-hmm.
The guys come up out of the bottom and jump from the front
Mm-hmm.
over onto the front of that ship.
Okay.
While they're distracted.
I think what happens when you do this, you see that they already had a couple guys up there because, protect the wheel, obviously,
Yeah.
and make sure nobody tries to take over the boat. So they have at least 2 guys. I'm going to say 3. How many did you say was with you? 1 or 2? I think you said 2 or something.
Yeah,
like
I got me and 2 others.
You and 2 others. So you have 3 guys jumping up here. There's 3 in front of you, and there's 1 at the wheel. He's trying to maneuver, but Caduceus and whoever else is manning the wheel at the moment is doing a better job than them. So you have those 2, and you see 3 people jump towards the other side or towards the front of their ship, and they're on the ship. Now, these 3 guys in front of you, 2 of them go for the men next to you, and one of them swings his sword over his head. We're not going to roll initiative, but I want you to describe kind of what you want to do, and then we'll roll and see what happens. It's not really an attack roll, but we're just going to go.
So he's coming in like he's coming for a heavy
He-
attack
he's-
straight down. Straight.
They don't have shields; they're just pirates. He's got like a scimitar, and he's swinging it like diagonally towards you.
And I don't have a shield. I don't have my shield.
Do you have a shield in your inventory?
Uh-huh.
That's fine then. You can have a shield.
Okay.
So what
So-
are you doing?
So as he's coming in, bringing that down,
Yeah, he's coming
I
right
swing
to
my
left
shield up,
diagonally,
I
top
lift
to
it
bottom.
up. When he hits my shield, then I lunge forward, pushing him back.
Okay.
Just shove him back.
Okay. Just roll, and go ahead and add your attack modifier is fine. That's a 9. I think what happens, instead of you pushing him back, he kind of sidesteps. That's a 4 plus 5 is a 9.
Oh, okay. All right.
What happens is, as he hits your shield and you kind of try to push him, he sidesteps and follows through. So he's not fully, he has to reset for an attack.
Uh-huh.
So now he's going right to left and then left to right. And he's on your shield side. For everyone listening, Dad has a double-bladed scimitar. Yes, I know it's actually a 2-handed weapon. I don't care. I said he can use it as a 1-handed weapon.
Okay. So
So you have blocked with your shield and kind of tried to push, and he's sidestepped this way to your left.
okay.
And you have a double-bladed scimitar, one coming one way, one going the other.
So I'm like this, holding my shield up.
Mm-hmm.
Got my scimitar in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And as he sidesteps, I swing for his.
So you kind of
Legs.
go with it and swing for his
I
legs.
swing for his legs
All
to
right.
try to knock him off his feet.
All right, roll another attack. Plus 5. 21. It's a 16.
21, yes.
21. Okay. I'm not even going to. We're not going to do damage or anything. You slash him in the back of the knees, and he just falls. Do you want to do anything else, or do you to him, or do you want to just go straight for the wheel?
Well, since I slashed him in the back of the knees,
Mm-hmm.
he goes down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, technically he's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just not dead. He's just done.
Yeah.
There's no getting up from that. So I will go for the wheel.
All right. So their captain is standing at the wheel, and he switches by the time that he sees that you guys are on board, he's now one-handing the wheel, and he has a flintlock pistol drawn on you.
Okay. Let's see.
And the
So
two
what's
two
going
guys
on
next
with
to
my other
you,
two guys?
the 2 guys next to you, go ahead and just roll a d20. See what happens. A 12. That's pretty good. So I think they're still entangled in their fight. So they have these other two guys still distracted. Now you do see that the guys at the front of the ship, they're kind of winning their battle, and the guys in the middle of the ship that are theirs, that are the enemy, they don't know what to do. They have no idea what to do. They're like, do we go this way? Do we? Oh crap! He's going towards the wheel, but they're winning. What do we do? And I'm gonna roll a d20. If it's above 10, they go to the other side. If it's 10 or below, they're going to go towards you. Okay? Fell off. It is a 6.
So they go towards me.
They go towards you. So there are now 2 more. There were only 2 that were readily available to come towards your direction. That are running towards the stairs. And the captain has a flintlock pistol aimed at you. What are you doing?
Okay, so I just cut the dude's. He's down.
Yep.
How am I facing toward? Have I got any cover with my shield or anything? Or
At this moment, no. But it also looks like this is more of like a scare tactic to get you to at least hesitate.
okay. So I'm kind of. So I've sliced this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my shield up still. So, and I see him drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Can I throw my shield?
You can.
I hurl my shield at him.
Okay. Roll a d20 and add 5. We'll let you use your attack modifier.
22.
22. Yeah. No, you hit him, and he drops the pistol, and he staggers away from the wheel. So the wheel is kind of sitting in limbo and kind of moving, and the ship is kind of wobbling.
Okay.
But now the 2 guys that were down below are 3/4 of the way up the stairs, almost up the stairs.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll another check for your 2 guys that are with you.
D20.
Yep.
5.
5. Okay. I'm going to say they are not quite finished with these 2 that they were already fighting with. They were winning, but now these other 2 are fixing to join the fight, and they're worried about that, so they're getting distracted by that.
Okay.
Okay? And you have just knocked the captain off balance.
Okay.
And he's fallen, like he's not on the ground, but he's knocked away from the wheel. What do you want to do?
And he dropped his.
He dropped the pistol. It's at the wheel.
It's at the wheel.
He's slightly
How
closer
far?
to it than you.
Slightly closer than.
Mhm.
Okay. The 2 guys coming up. Is it one set of stairs, or are they coming at me from 2 different sides?
They're coming up, if you're looking at the front of the boat, just the right side, because that's the side you guys came up on.
How close am I to the stairs?
I mean, I want to say you're like 15 feet from the stairs and 15 feet from the pistol. And the wheel.
Okay. So I swing my scimitar
Mm-hmm.
and lunge for the pistol.
So,
I swing at the because he's closer to it. I swing at the captain.
you're...
I'm
he's on
diverting him away.
He's on the other side of it.
He's on the other side of it.
Yes. You pushed him back, right?
Yeah.
You threw your shield, it pushed him back, and he dropped it. The pistol is in between you and him.
Okay. Well, I want to run.
Now, you are a bugbear, so you have longer arms.
Okay.
So essentially, you're not exactly even. He's still just tiny bit closer.
But my reach gives me a little bit further reach. So I slide and grab the pistol.
Roll a dexterity check. Roll an Just roll a dexterity check. We'll go to. It's a 4 plus 3. You know what? That's a 7. I'm gonna roll his strength. That's a 7. He just has to roll an 8 or higher. Okay. He rolled a 10.
Okay.
He lunges for it, and his hand hits it before you do. However, he doesn't have time to pull it on you yet. His hand is just there before your hand is on top of his.
Okay.
Now, roll me another d20 for your 2 guys with you.
8.
If you want to burn use a command right now, I'll let you roll it again immediately.
Okay.
Which it's not going to go into the actual first.
My 2 guys, do they have any magical powers, or are they just?
No,
They're just.
they're just guys.
Okay. Yep. Are they either one of them close to the stairs? Is either one of them close to? Oh, never mind. If they disengage from the others, they get a disadvantage. Never mind.
I'll say stick with the 8. They're still not doing great.
Okay.
But they are getting hurt. You have one hand on his hand with the gun, and you have your double-bladed scimitar in your other hand.
I want to stab him with the scimitar.
Roll an attack, plus 5. 9. Okay, give me just a second. Alright, so you rolled a 9. I'm going to say, you go to stab him, but he kind of rolls. His hand is still on the pistol, though.
Okay.
Under yours.
All right.
Roll again for your 2 guys. And if you want to use a command, you can do it with advantage. That's a 7. If you want to use your last command for this fight.
I didn't use the first one.
Yes, you did. You rolled it.
We didn't do nothing. Oh, we didn't.
It didn't help.
Oh.
Here, use this one.
Do you not have my die?
I don't know where your dice are.
You supposed to keep.
What's that, a 15? Alright. So your guys take out the original 2. They are now on even ground with the 2 that just came up the stairs.
Okay.
You have no more commands. The captain has rolled and his hand is still on the pistol. He's gonna try to pull it out from under your hand.
Okay.
You give me a strength check, and I'll make a strength check as well. It's a 21 for you. Unless he gets a nat 20, you're good. He got a 16. Your hand stays planted on top of his.
Okay.
What would you like to do? And your guys at the
double bladed scimitar. I have 2 actions. I get a second because there's.
We're doing a simplified thing for just your scene. Okay.
All right.
All right. If you would.
So my hand is on his.
Yes, your hand is on his.
And he has the pistol in his hand.
Yes.
So how about I try to turn the pistol toward him?
Towards him?
Yes. Like holding his hand, I try to turn the pistol toward him.
Okay. Contested strength again. 11.
12. Well, it's 10 plus 2.
Plus 3.
3, 13.
Yeah. You wrestle it, and it's now pointed towards him. Roll for your 2 guys. And you can't have an advantage this time. That's a 10. I'm going to say they stay on even ground. They're still fighting. They're blocking well. But your guys at the very front of the ship are making their way towards you. Your pincer plan has worked
Okay.
so far.
All right.
All right. So you tried to point it towards him.
I've got it pointed toward him.
Do you want to say anything to this captain?
Huh?
Or what are you trying to do? I'm guessing you're trying to fire it at him.
Yes. I'm trying to get him to accidentally shoot himself.
Okay. Let's roll another contested strength check. 8. What I'm going to say happens because he has an 18. Well, you get a +3, but that's still 11 compared to 18. What happens is he fires while it's pointed in a random direction. It is a flintlock pistol. It is useless now.
Okay.
So he drops it. He lets go and pulls his hand out, and he's reaching for his sword.
Okay. So I then swing for his head.
All right, go ahead. Roll +5.
And then like an upward.
Okay, roll +5. Roll +5.
15.
15. That's good. You slice across his face, and it cuts into his jaw,
Uh-huh.
and he's kind of his jaw is hanging down, and he backs up and says, "I'm done. I'm done. As best he can with half of his jaw hanging out. I'm done. Stop. God." Roll for your 2 guys with you.
15.
15. They take out the 2 that are there,
Uh-huh.
and your first naval battle as the leader of the battle party
Yep.
is a success. Now, let's move to Zach. Zach's character's name is Thane, right?
Yes.
What? I forget what race you are.
Shadar Kai.
Thane.
Shadar Kai.
Shadar Kai. SHADER.
D-E-R.
Mm-hmm. And then it's got a hyphen and then Kai.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, and you're a Phantom Rogue, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit, without giving away too much, a little bit about Thane.
What do you want me to start?
Uh,
Because
Maybe, actually, you know what? Just give me a description of Thane, for now.
he's got whitish gray skin. He has bluish gray eyes. Long, unkept silver hair. And he stands at 6'1".
6'1".
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's he wearing? What kind of armor you got?
He wears leather armor, but
Leather
it's been dyed black. All of his clothing is black.
Okay.
But he wears a hood, but all of it has a green tint to it.
All right. And there, from what I understand, there's an organization that he's trying to get into. Probably a pretty secretive one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the name of this organization?
Actually, didn't come up with a name for it at the time. Called it goes by 2 different names.
I've had just the Soul Collectors.
Yeah, that's the name that people who know of it call
Mhm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's the name that people don't know of it call it? That's actually a
the
good idea.
Dead Man's Guild.
Dead Man's Guild. All right. All right. I think what we're gonna do for yours. you're in an inn. You travel around, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to complete your initiation, right? I think what happens when you awake this morning, you had received a note under the door of your inn room. The black wax on the seal tells you that this is from the Soul Collectors. Every time you get one of these notes, you have to meet in some odd place. Usually the contact that you meet has their identity concealed as well. The seal on the envelope is in the shape of a skull with the depiction of an aura around it. Kind of hard to do in wax, but
Yeah.
you get the idea. Upon opening it, it is written in the increasingly familiar Thieves' Cant. It reads to you in Thieves' Cant. I'm not going to make up some made-up language. At the place where horses leave their musk, you must show yourself at dusk. And that's kind of what you... I mean, it's morning right now.
I would wait for
Yeah, wait
because, I
around.
mean, there's
So where are you going? What do you think is
would it just be a barn?
barn? Maybe.
I'm not good with riddles. We figured
um,
this out last time.
yeah, we did figure that out last time, kind of. If you want to roll like an insight or maybe an investigation, whichever one you think is better, we can do that.
It's only a 7.
It's a 7.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, they tie up horses right outside the inn sometimes.
Yeah.
But isn't that kind of weird to meet? Secret.
I mean, in the back of a barn, like away from
I'll
everyone.
say
wouldn't be, but-
there's a stable here.
Yeah.
There is like the spot where you tie up horses outside the inn.
Don't know
You
if
pick.
it's stable.
You kind of pick where you think.
I'm gonna go to the stable.
You're gonna go to the stable. Okay. So you get to the stable and it's not quite dusk yet, but it's starting to get there. There's no one to be found at first, but after a few minutes, you hear up here. And as you look towards the top of the stable, the figure is just a silhouette, as there's a light directly behind them. Kind of like there's, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
I guess a
but-
gas lamp, kind of like a street light,
Yeah, I know what you're
and
trying to-
they have positioned themselves in between it and you, so that you're just seeing their silhouette. You here for the bounty?
Yes.
All right. Here's the thing. It's a shape-shifting wizard.
Everything dies when hit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything dies when it's hit.
Good way to think about it. I have some information that this guy will be in a place called Windgate. It's a few days walk, a few days ride as well.
Then it best be leaving.
Okay. And with that, I mean, it wasn't much of an introduction,
No, because
but it's a pretty. I think it's a reason for you to be there. And you know, we really don't have much else for this one. So, what are we thinking so far? We liking so far? Dad got 20 minutes of it, just because of the nature of his.
Yeah, but we had to go into the backstory, like
Yes.
kind of how I was on the ship
Mm-hmm.
and how I got to be the leader of the battle.
His character is like the leader of the battle party of the Dead Sea, and we played through his first battle that he was in like his proving himself to Caduceus. You guys will have to go listen to it. It'll be nice. I'll probably put it somewhere in there. I don't know where, but I may put it in between the first little bit and yours. What are you thinking so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. You liking your reason for being?
Yeah, I mean,
Now, I do have something to say, Zach. You've played in this world before.
mhm.
I think you know the shape-shifting wizard I'm talking about,
I think so.
if you remember.
It's been a little bit, but I think I remember.
I've got some fun things planned. I hope you guys... I'm at a point in my notes for the next one that I don't know where you guys are going to go with it. I don't know what you guys are going to do with it. But... I don't know. But I think that's a good place to leave it for this one, because it's just introducing characters, introducing the world, and introducing new people on the podcast. So, catch you next time.